Hi, Facebook family. We are here for the 5 steps to saying I quit. Today is day 4 of the series, so we're almost done. I can't believe it. I've actually had a good time doing this. So, as usual, let me get everything set up. Let me share. Let me do what I do so that we can get started on time, which will be in 2 minutes, 8 o'clock. So, let me do that. I hope you guys are having a good night. If you are, let me know that. If you're not, you can let me know that too. That's okay. I'm actually in a silly mood, so this will be interesting how tonight goes. We shall see if I can keep it together. Those of you who know, I have an interesting sense of humor, so I'll try to keep it on topic. So, all right, we've got 1 minute and we're going to get started. So thank you guys for joining me tonight. And tonight we're going to talk about, is your life in order to get your business started? Is your life set up so that you can do the work that you want to do, the work that you were born to do, that's calling you forward, that's filling your soul, calling from your soul, saying, you got to do this. So we're going to talk about how do you need to put your life in order? What things do you need to do to get your life in order to really start this beautiful journey? I think of it as your business, because creating a business is not just a business. It totally is a journey. It totally is a process. So we're going to talk about some things you need to get in place. So, all right, it's 8 o'clock. Thank you guys for coming. I saw you guys, Paula and Ron. Thank you for being here. So let's get started. Let's dive right into how do you get your life in order? What do you need to do to really start a business, work, have a life? How do you put all of these massive pieces together and still feel like you're not going crazy and you're going to fall apart, right? So there's a couple of things I want to talk about. Obviously, the first thing is a schedule. You have to look and examine some things before you take on this task. You have to look and say, where do I have time to work on this business? And I will be honest with you, at different pieces and parts of your life and times of year, you're going to have different amounts of time. But you've got to look at yourself first and say, how do I work best? Like for me, for example, I'm a night person, so I love nighttime. I'm up. If I'm up past a certain time, I'm going for hours and hours. So I get really good ideas at night. So for me, night is the time that I flourish. I'm not a morning person. Those of you know me personally, you know me functioning in the morning, just get by, just the minimal parts. So I'm more of an afternoon, evening person. So I have to set up my day to fit that way as much as I can, as well as the time that I work on my business to do it during that time. So you've got to do some self-checking to say, okay, when do I work best? When are the ideas going to flow best for me to work on this business? So do that self-inventory to figure that out. The other thing you're going to have to do is, if you have a family, if you have a partner, husband, whatever the case may be, is you need to have conversation with them. Because remember, you're taking a chunk of time that you might have been spending with your kids, spending with your partner. Now you're going to use that time to spend on your business. So you have to have a conversation with those people in your life and let them know what your dreams are, what you're about to do. Say, hey, I'm about to start working on my dream, on something I feel called to do, and I need your help and I need your support. So you have to have that conversation with them and talk about, what does that look like? For me, I work from home. So I had to have a conversation with my children to say, okay, I have a home office and I'm home. That does not mean I'm available all the time. So we had to set up rules. We had to set up parameters of what is it when I'm working, so that they would know when I'm working and they can't disturb me, and when it's okay to kind of come in. Those of you who don't know me personally, I homeschool 2 of my children right now. So we're all home here. So we definitely had to set up clear guidelines, clear parameters as when is it work time, When is it family time? When is it me just relaxing time? All of that had to be put in place. And I had to have the same conversation with my spouse. So you have to have those conversations with the people in your life before you start, to alleviate any problems, to alleviate people feeling neglected or left out. You really want to have those conversations and map it out as to what's going to work for all of you guys. Hey, I saw you, Tawana and Sharif, that just joined. So really look at that. Talk to the people in your lives. Find out what's acceptable for them as far as your time. Because maybe they're like, okay, look, you can work during the week, but I don't want you working on Saturday because that's our time. So you're going to have to do some negotiating when you add this into your life. When you're really thinking about, okay, how do I now work on this business? How do I work on my dreams and manage everything else that's going on? The other thing you may need to do is you may need to drop some things from your schedule, from your calendar that aren't important. Because we all have to-do lists and they're all very long, but you have to prioritize, which we've heard over and over again. You're adults, so we always hear that word over and over. But when it comes down to setting out that time and carving out that time for your business, you really do have to prioritize. Maybe you have to delegate. Maybe some things have to be given out to other people. So the key is you may have to give that to someone else. Like when I had a conversation with my family about me working on my business, I asked the kids, well, how do you think you can support me in doing this business? And my kids love to be in the kitchen. They love to cook and help out. So one of the things how they help out is they make dinner some nights of the week. So then I can work a little bit later in my business. So now it's a win-win. I get more carved out time. We still get to eat at our regular time. And they're helping out and they feel like they're contributing to the family. But it's a win-win for everyone. So you've got to negotiate what is that schedule that's going to work for everyone. So that's why I mean you really have to have those conversations with them. You really have to sit down and look at every little piece of your schedule, but make your business a priority. Don't be like, oh, I'll get to it later. I'll get to it later. You know, my famous line is, our life isn't a dress rehearsal. This is for real. We don't get this time back. And if this is something that's been on your heart for a while to do, don't put it off. You really, really deserve to do this work. You're here for a reason and you should do it. So make sure you have those kind of conversations. Hey, Buffy, I see you. Make sure you have those conversations with your family so that they're aware of where your time's going to be spent, how your time's going to be spent, and that you know how to negotiate your schedule. Here's another thing I think I see people do all the time. They're like, hey, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to put all this work and energy in. Let me just say I'm laughing because I was one of those people. The reality of it is start slow. Start slow. Start slow. Start slow. I so cannot say that enough. And I laugh and I say that because I'm an A-type personality. So when I get an idea, you guys, those of you who know, Sharice, you know, I just run. I just run. But you've got to start off slow because it has to be realistic and something that you can maintain long term. If you're starting a business, you want it around for a long, long time. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It really, really is when it comes to creating a business and making it sustainable and making it viable and financially good. You know, so you really need to put it in little by little, and especially if you live with other people. Because if you go gung-ho and put a whole chunk of time in it and you've taken all this time away from your spouse, from your children, they're going to feel it and it's going to be massive. So if you do it gradually, little by little, it's easier for everybody else to adjust to this new routine and this new system. So just be mindful of that when you're thinking about it. When you're thinking about how do I do this? How do I negotiate creating this new life, right? The other thing is do the simple stuff. Write a schedule. You know, do old school. Write out a schedule of, okay, I've got this many hours in the day. How much time do I have to really spend on this business? How much time in a week do you have to spend out on the business? Maybe it's 30 minutes one day. Maybe it's 30 minutes another day. All of that is fine. Start out gradually, and as time goes on and as you get more comfortable and you get more familiar with stuff, add more time to your schedule to work on your business, to create the things that you need to create in your business. But just be mindful of that. The other thing is, You need to look at how you work. So, for example, when you're an employee, you've got a time clock, you've got a boss, so you've got some accountability built in there of when you have to do your job. Well, when you work for yourself, that's not there. So you've got to also do another self-examination and say, what kind of person am I? How do I work? Am I a person that procrastinates and I wait till the last minute? Am I a person who has to get it done right away? What type of work habits do you have? So you've got to really look at your work habits, because if you're the type of person that needs more accountability, then you've got to build in that support into your system. So you find either a group, a networking group that can hold you accountable. You can also get an accountability buddy. A coach is a great accountability partner. When you're paying someone and you have to get something done, you're very, very motivated to get that thing done. So you've got to look at the options of what you have available to you and how do you work? What is your work style? But you do need to be accountable to someone if you're a person who procrastinates or always puts it off or always finds an excuse why things don't get done. So you need to really look at that and check in with yourself and be honest, because the only person that loses out here is you if you're not honest about how you work and maybe some things or areas that you need to improve on. So you really need to take that into account. And you need time. The difference with a business versus a job is that on the job, you've probably been doing your job for a while. And those of us who are, 40 or over, we've been doing it for a while. So we can kind of do it without even thinking some of the tasks that we have on our job. When you start a business, it's a new train of thought. There's going to be a lot of new things that you encounter. So your focus and your mind needs to be clear a lot of times. For you to come up with new ideas, for you to solve problems, you need to take away the clutter out of your mind. So you've got to ask yourself, well, how do I get those new thoughts? How do I clear my brain? How do I settle myself down to focus? Because that may be something that you didn't necessarily have to do at your job because you've been doing it for so long. But in this new position, you're going to have to figure out a way to do that. You're going to have to figure out a way, like we talked about on day 3, to connect with your guidance, to connect with the divine and figure out, okay, is this the right choice? Where should I be focusing my attention? What should I be doing now? What are the steps that I need to take? So all of those are pieces of kind of setting up your life and how things flow. Now, one of the big pieces that we tend to forget when we talk about working on the business is you. When you're an entrepreneur, you are your brand. So how you present yourself, who you are, all of that stuff. Like you can look at me, you can see my desk. It's kind of plain over here. You see behind me, there's a map. There's a reason why there's a world map behind me. I love traveling. Totally love traveling, so it speaks to me. You see my peacock feathers. Those who are diamonds in my group know what that means. That peacock is very special and dear to us, and those people are very near and dear to me. They're my support system. So putting things around me that mean something to me are important. And so that's part of who I am. You'll see me most of the time I wear t-shirts. Why? I'm a mom, I homeschool, I'm running around doing that kind of stuff. And because it's my business, I don't have to dress when I don't want to. That's the beauty of having your own business. So you get to create this the way that fits you and the way that you flow. That's the great thing about being an entrepreneur. Yes, we have deadlines and all that stuff, but you set up your business so that it fits you and fits your lifestyle. But the key piece of it being your brand is that now it becomes really critical for you to take care of yourself. Self-care becomes the utmost, because the better I am is the better my business is going to be the better that my services are to other people. So when I'm my best, I can give my best, I can do my best, and I can be my best. That's important. That's not like a job where it's like, hey, if you don't get to do it, then, it doesn't really matter. The company will work it out or the boss will do something else. No, when you're an entrepreneur, it is about you and how you show up and how you present and what information you put forth. So it's really, really important that you do some self-care. Self-care is a must. So we talk about our body. You talk about your body and you talk about how do you care for your body? Are you treating your body well? A lot of times, especially women, we need movement. We need movement because movement moves away toxins. So you need to get your body moving. I don't care if you're walking, you're exercising, you're gymming. I'm not getting into all of that stuff. You guys know what's best for you. You're adults. But movement, some kind of movement is going to be helpful for you. The other piece of that is that what you take into your body. So the foods that you take in. Are you taking in brain food? Lord knows as we get older, we forget things. Are you taking in brain food that feeds your brain to make it healthy? Water. Oh my gosh, it's our lifeline. You need water. Absolutely, positively need water. So you need to be taking that in as well so that you're cleaning out that system and giving it back what it mostly is, which is water. Your spirit. We talked a lot about spirit on day 3. Are you tapping into divine guidance? Are you tapping into the creator to get the guidance of where you should go and what you should do? You know, we really need to do that. You got to tap into the divine so that you feel at peace, so that you feel supported. You know, it's so important to have that support in the decisions that we make, especially when you're building a business. You're going to need that support and guidance because you're going to be going in, you know, on areas, and I say you go on this journey that you've never been before. So you're going to need that guidance. You're going to need that support. So definitely tap into the divine and use it. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Pamela. The other thing is your emotions. You know, we talk about our emotions a lot because it totally impacts what we do. Emotionally, you have to feel sound. You have to feel stable. You have to feel peace. And so you have to find ways of dealing with your emotions because as a business owner, your emotions are going to impact everything you do, every decision that you make, every turn, every twist. So do you have a way of dealing with your emotions? Do you have a way of processing things? Because life happens. I tell you, I have kids. Life happens all the time. Do you have a way of dealing with those emotions, processing them, and moving through them so that you can move on, so that you don't stay stuck, so that you can still handle the things that you need to handle, so that you still feel good, that you can still function? You know, there's a lot of things that I do that help me deal with my family, deal with my business. I put a lot of practices in place so that I can function to the best of my ability. You know, it's really important that I be there for my clients when I have sessions and all of that with them, that I'm there for them 100%. And so I have to get my mind right. I have to get centered. I have to get focused. And I've started doing morning practices. Why? Because I told you I'm not that much of a morning person, but me being calm and still and quiet and connecting to the divine in the morning is what helps me throughout my day. It sets my tone. It sets me, when I sit in front of this computer and start to do my work, that I'm focused, that I'm present for those people that I've committed to give my best to. So I've got to do that for me. The other thing, I love my alone time. So I have to make sure I fit that in on my schedule too, that I take care of myself. You know, I love baths. They're so nurturing. They're so soothing. I make sure I get that in. I love funny TV shows. I make sure I have time for that too. You've got to take care of yourself. When you create a business, you are the most important asset. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what they tell you. You are the most important asset of your business. So you have to make sure that all of that is taken care of. All of that is secure. You are very important and you are the vital piece to your business. So don't neglect yourself. Take care of your mind, body, and spirit always. Because if you do that, you're going to be able to take care of your business. And when you take care of your business and you love it and you treat it right, you're going to be successful. So you're going to help the people that you were meant to help, but you also get to help your family. Because then you'll be able to take care of your family because you're creating a successful business. That's what it's all about. So really think about that. Do some self-assessing. For those of you who missed part of the video, definitely go back. Here's what I'm offering today, just like the other days. If you guys are figuring out, hey, LaShonda, I really do want to start my own business. I really want to go and do stuff for myself. Not really sure how to put my life together. Not really sure how to organize things that I need to or what's the appropriate thing for me. Hop on a call with me. They're called connection calls. They're 15 minutes. They're free, no obligation. There's no selling. What we do is we brainstorm. We create a plan for you to get started on that step, for you to get started moving yourself forward, so that you can feel like you're not stuck. You're not stuck in this position, this job, this place you don't want to be. You know, I know the year is almost half over. So let's move you forward so that you don't end this year the way it started, that you see some progress in your life because you deserve it. It's just that simple. You deserve it. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you've done. You deserve it. So that is what I'm offering. The link to my calendar will be in my group, From Wishing to Manifesting. I will put that at the end of the video link. So if you guys are interested, go to my group, sign up. I don't make it personal. I don't make it public, my link, so it's only in my group. The other thing is tomorrow, I will not be on in the evening. Tomorrow, I will be on in the afternoon. So for our last day, I will be on at 1 o'clock on Friday. Why? Because it's Friday, and I don't want to work in the evening. And because it's my own job and my own business, I don't have to. That's the beauty of having your own business. So tomorrow we'll be here at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So for those of you at work, you can catch the replay by all means. For those of you who maybe have a lunch break, you can catch me for part of your lunch break. But tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern time, that's the time I'll be live. You guys have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.